Hello everybody, good morning and welcome to the United Stand. This is your latest Manchester United news and transfer news. Apologies for being a little bit late. A few gremlins in the system, so we're 15 minutes later than I wanted to be. But the story this morning is really about people potentially leaving Manchester United. Italian reports talking about a player coming in. A little bit about Paul Pogba, which I think we can probably refute. We'll talk about that. Maybe Pogba wanting to go. I'm not necessarily sure about that. But Cavani wanting out, and also in the last half an hour, I did put it up on social media as well. Eric Bailly apparently frustrated at Manchester United and wanting to leave in the summer. He's only got 1 year left on his contract. Like Paul Pogba, will not renew and wants to go to AC Milan. I read something this morning about that. That's probably more of one to nurture. I mean, I'm not necessarily sure this is true. But what I want to just say first of all, before I forget, links in the video description. We've now got a new mug range, and it's not me and Flex and Ricky. It's not Ricky's face on it. It's not my face on it. A lot of people have been saying, can you do some mugs? Because obviously I sometimes have my United Stand mug. We've now got new mugs out. We've got the green and gold, if that's where you want to go. We've got a pattern with this on, adored, Manchester is red. And we've also got two special mugs to commemorate 1 million subscribers on the United Stand, a black and a red one. So you can check them out on the link in the video description. And yeah, crack on with that. So thanks everyone who's asked for those, and they are available now. Link is in the video description for those. But let's get into the show. Now, I do want to talk about Cavani because it's coming from a really good outlet. It's coming through Sport Witness via Diario Ole, which I think is the biggest Argentinian sports outlet. It's huge. And they're talking about this Boca Juniors and Cavani thing, which is looking more and more likely. But I want to delve into, and also I want to talk about Pogba. I want to talk about this Milenkovic story. I want to talk about a little bit about Leicester tomorrow. But I want to start off with Eric Bailly because establishing where this is coming from from Eric Bailly is somewhat difficult. But it's. I mean, also there's a story coming out about Anthony Martial, and Manchester United will definitely consider selling Anthony Martial if a good offer comes in. It just looks very, very messy. And I really, I just don't see how Manchester United can deal with all these people that apparently are going to leave. Now, the Eric Bailly thing, I've got to say, it's tentative. It's very tentative. It's just a few things on Twitter. I think it's been translated from African outlets. So I'm not going to say Eric Bailly is demanding to leave Manchester United. But I do think the interesting thing I would say about Eric Bailly, whether he wants to go or not, and I'm not going to dwell on this too long, I just wanted to throw this to you. I have said about Eric Bailly that I would let him go in the summer. So I can't jump on this and say, oh my God, it's a disgrace that he wants to go. However, what I can do is, if this story is true, Eric Bailly is frustrated about being overlooked constantly by Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. But this has been going on for over a year. If you remember against Chelsea last February, not the February last month, a year ago, he played because Lindelof was injured against Chelsea in the league, and we kept a clean sheet and he played very, very well. The very next game we played some mediocre side at Old Trafford, and Bailly was out for Lindelof again. And this has happened constantly over the last year, and I think we've seen it again this year, that without question Maguire and Bailly is our best centre-back partnership. For me personally, I know Robert McCormack will probably disagree, but I think it is. I also would argue that Eric Bailly is our best centre-back. I think he's better than Maguire. So I would understand Eric Bailly's frustration when he is fit, and he has been fit a lot. When he is fit, why does he get overlooked for Maguire and Lindelof? So if I'm Eric Bailly, I would probably be frustrated and looking to leave anyway. But to be fair, if I'm Manchester United, I'm going to let him go, because I think we need to bring in a centre-back that's better than Eric Bailly, but with the similar attributes, who can play every week. But where I do agree with Eric is that he should have played a lot more, and the Maguire-Lindelof thing is a farce. You know, how often they play together is a joke, and Eric Bailly should have been playing with Maguire and is, I believe, our best centre-back, and there has been options to do that. Now, people would say, oh, Goldbridge is talking out your arse, how many clean sheets have we got? And I would say in response, I don't need to be offensive to you, I will just give you my opinion. The reason Maguire and Lindelof keep lots of clean sheets is because we play a back six, because we know what McFred do. Sod all going forward, just protect those centre-backs. So we do keep a lot of clean sheets, but that's because we play a back six. So I do understand Eric's frustration. Roy Hurley, welcome to the Members Club. But I do understand Eric's frustration, but I would let him go. As simple as that, because I just think the injury issue is too big. Eric Bay helps out our attack, says Christoph. He does. What a wonderful story to start the day, says Robert McCormack. I knew he'd be in. Fair play. The subscriber thing does work. It does work. As you can see, I've just got the wrong thing on. Breaking irrelevant news: Tokyo 2020 will have no international fans attending, says XMR. And Charlie McNeil was on Instagram Live last night and said he always watches United. Stands, says Fearless Defend. He's a good lad, Charlie McNeil. He's a very good lad, and hopefully he'll be in the first team soon. And then the first team will probably say you're not allowed to watch United stand because they're a bit critical. But he's a United lad as well. That's the main thing. He supports the team, which is always very important. I've got problems with my camera today. That's why I was a little bit late. Look, when I go backwards and forward, the lighting is just weird. I don't know what I've done to it, which is why I was a little bit late. So apologies for that. But let's move on to Edison Cavani then. This I'll give a shout out to the account that I actually saw it on, even though it's not there. It's not from them. It's actually from Diario Olé, which is a Argentinian outlet, and what they're saying is that everything is verbally arranged for Edison Cavani to join Boca Juniors in June. Cavani is seen as a potential replacement for the striker Ramon Abella, who could be soon on his way to La Bombonera. And this is via Sport Witness at Diario Olé, who I saw on at MUFC MBP this morning. And I think that with regards to Cavani, I think many of us would agree that he probably is on his way out now. Manchester United should be looking at this like they looked at it in September. I saw somebody say this morning, is it now the time to look at Cavani's deal being a bit of a flop? I actually could say that and say I told you so. I'm not going to say that. I don't think Cavani's deal is a flop. I think that it's just... Roy Hurley says he's just a nuisance at this stage. I like Cavani. I never had a problem with Cavani. I just didn't like the deal, and that's because I actually look at things instead of buying them. I don't see something that everyone else goes, that's great, and go, oh, I've got to get one. I'll actually have a look at it and see, does it suit me? And I'm talking about like deodorants and shampoos and whatever, lager, right? But Manchester United, we bought Cavani. We weren't even looking at him with a week of the transfer window left, and everybody was like, oh my God, Cavani, we've got Cavani, he's got the number 7 shirt, and I couldn't believe it. I said it at the time and I got a lot of hate for it. I said, I cannot believe our fan base is milking this Cavani signing, and how has he got the number 7 shirt? It was, to me, it's one of the biggest fraud moves in our fan base, because it was like we were defrauded, basically, on our fan base, because he got given the number 7 shirt and everyone was acting like it's bloody Jadon Sancho or it's Ronaldo or something like that. And I was just like, we were never even looking at this lad. We weren't looking at him. He's a desperation signing, and United have gone all in. They've gone all in on this. They're chucking a number 7 at him. They're doing all the Instagram and the Twitter stuff. The fans are falling for it. And the reality is, this ain't Cavani of 28. This is Cavani of 34 with 18 months of muscle injuries behind him. And what have we had? We've had about 3 weeks of hype, and we've had about 4 different muscle injuries, and it's just not worked out. And Cavani is now in a situation where he won't play unless he's 100% fit. Even though we need him, he won't play because he knows that he's moving in the summer. So his stance, quite rightly, is, why should I put my body on the line and maybe be out for 6 months when I want to move in the summer because I'm not going to be staying here? And I think that's a decision from United that he's not staying there. I think United have cooled their interest. I think Solskjaer and co have gone, hold on a minute. Very good striker. Been brilliant to have around the place, but can't be relied on. Not played any games against Man City 3 times. Not played in the last week where we needed him. I can't build a team around a striker as good as he trains and as great as he is in the game. I can't build a team. It's very similar as Eric Bailly, really. So ultimately, I don't think Solskjaer or I or you would have said no to Ed Woodward and co with 2 days left in the window. If they'd said you can have Cavani or nothing, you'd take Cavani. But the reality is, it comes down yet again to total incompetence in our recruitment strategy, that we don't look. I mean, it's very similar to Agallo. Agallo came in. Oh, it's trending, Agallo, very popular, nice United fan. Oh yeah, Agallo, this is brilliant. Oh, look at him running around a bit. Oh, he scored a goal, he scored a tap-in, brilliant. And then he disappears for a year. So United have got to stop doing late, desperate signings, but that so much is dependent on the incompetence in the boardroom. They keep making these same mistakes, and unfortunately, a lot of our fan base keeps lapping it up and going, "Hey!" Why would they ever stop doing these desperate last day signings when they see your reaction to them? Oh, Cavani, number 7, trending, yay! Igalo, yay, Igalo. Like, they're going to keep doing it because they've done it twice and they've seen the hype it gets. So don't be surprised if on transfer deadline day in August we go and sign Del Piero or something like that and bring him out of retirement, because you lot will just go, yay, Del Piero. Not you lot. I think we've got, the United stand tends to be quite intelligent, but you know, we do play to them, don't we? And I think Cavani will go in the summer, and I think, again, very similar to Eric Bailly, I would let him go because he can't be relied on. And you know, not all injury prone players are Phil Jones. You know, sometimes you prefer them to be injured. Eric Bailly, I wish he was never injured. I think he's our best centre back, like I say. Cavani, I wish he wasn't injured. I think he's our best striker. But the reality is they are, and you've got to look at those things. I think some people with injuries, they go, oh yeah, they might be injury prone, but when they come here, they won't be. Like we saw it with Ousmane Dembele. Oh no, it'll be fine here. It'll be absolutely fine here. What? Despite the fact he's had about 1 million hamstring injuries in his early 20s. No, I'll be fine at United. And then you buy him, everyone's excited, and it's like, oh, give him the number 7 shirt as well. Go on, give him the number 7. Yay, Ousmane Dembele, yay! And then he's injured for 8 months. Oh, well, you know, it's just bad luck. You've got to look at these things. Liverpool were very successful about this when Klopp first came in. They really were. I think they've got it wrong recently, but they were. Welcome to the Members Club, Ryan Stewart. If Bailly's unhappy, we can see Lindelof on the new centre-back to be unhappy next season because Ollie never shuffles the team. We have got to use to this, says Akil. Mark, you have Haaland, the BTEC, Andre Flo. We have been linked to Aguero as he wants to move to London and play under Arteta again, says Amiasi. Pogba has a worse injury record than Cavani. Why should we keep either, says Jonah Bishop. Well, Paul Pogba's a bit different to Cavani. He's been here for 4 years and he wasn't a desperation signing at the time. We will never sign a quality attacking player ever again because they all cost more than our transfer budget. Bet United will sign Aubameyang next, says Julian S. Well, it's very interesting. I don't know if you saw Flex's video at 8 o'clock last night, but he was talking about Haaland and the Man City interest, but also he spoke about James Cooper, what he said about the United sponsorship deal. James Cooper, as much as he can be negative, has got good, and he's not purposely negative, by the way, he's just using the info he gets from the club. And that's why fans don't like sometimes what James Cooper says, the Manchester United Sky Sports correspondent. And what he was saying is that, yes, Man United have got a new sponsorship deal, but it doesn't mean that there's going to be hundreds of millions of pounds going into transfers. Manchester United have lost a lot of money over the last year. COVID's an issue. And basically, that is a brief from the club that there isn't a lot of money to be spent this summer, which is why I keep saying, why do people think we're signing Erling Haaland? It will not happen. We haven't got the bloody money to do it, so it won't happen. Which is interesting, actually. I'll just go to this next story. So obviously yesterday there was talk, and I think Flex discussed this, so I'm not going to go over it again, coming out of the Telegraph that Manchester United have received encouragement from Paul Pogba that he would be open to staying at Manchester United. Contrast that story with the transfer podcast from Duncan Castles, who says that Pogba's getting frustrated with Mino Raiola as he looks to get out of Manchester United, and there's a feeling that Raiola is more focused on Haaland. Obviously that's his client as well, but Raiola thinks he can get Haaland and Pogba to Real Madrid. And that's where that story falls apart for me, because we all know that Duncan Castles is very pro Mourinho and very anti-Solskjaer. I mean, maybe he isn't, maybe he is, but certainly the way he writes and talks, he is. There's no way Real Madrid are going to get Pogba and Haaland. They've got no money, so that's not going to happen. So I don't believe that, to be honest with you. Where I sit on the Pogba thing is that I still think he wants to leave United, and I can understand that, but I don't think it's set in stone that he will, because a lot of it depends on who's got any money to take him and whether he wants to go. But of course, Paul Pogba's got the power. Paul Pogba's got the power, if he stays at Manchester United, to say, I want 400 grand a week, and United would have to give it him. As ridiculous amount of money that is. David De Gea's on, 375, so Pogba will want 400. Would you give 400 grand a week to Paul Pogba? That's what United are probably going to have to offer, and I wouldn't be surprised if they did, because I'm not so sure that Paul Pogba's going to get that offer anywhere else. So it would be interesting to see what happens with Pogba. But I certainly don't think... I'm not really interested in what Paul Pogba's doing at the moment unless it's on the pitch, because I'll predict this to you now. There will be a comment from Paul Pogba about his future next week while he's on international duty. Set yourself up for it, because we haven't had an international break since November. And when Pogba goes on international break, he tends to be a little bit looser in what he's talking about. Now, Ollie might warn him before he goes and say, look, remember the conversation we had about being professional to the end of the season. But this is the last international break before the summer transfer window. There's going to be stories coming out. There will be. And I think there'll be one around Pogba. Zane says, Ollie said trophies are not important, yet he'll never win the league. So if he can't win the league and doesn't think trophies are important, what is he aiming for? Well, Zane, you're an Arsenal fan, so get in lane. Mid-table matters. But what Solskjaer actually said is that he can't hide the fact that winning a trophy would be a huge boost for this team. But trophies can hide real progress, i.e. your club. You won the FA Cup last year, but you finished 8th, and this year you're probably going to finish 8th again. So that's not progress, winning the FA Cup, is it? What Solskjaer's a little bit more intelligent than you, Zane, because what he's saying is that you could win a trophy and it could mask progress. Look at Jose Mourinho. He could win the Carabao Cup. That would mask an absolutely shite season. But because Spurs never win anything, some of their fans would probably go, oh my God, Jose, he's won us a trophy. But your season's been shit. So Solskjaer's right. You can win a trophy and mask the fact that you're not progressing. What Solskjaer wants to do, he wants to progress and win a trophy. And he understands that winning a trophy would be a big boost to our side. But he wants progress as well. If Alaba could run his contract down with Bayern, then so can Pogba with United, says Andre. Yep, that's always a risk as well. That is always a risk. Welcome to the Members Club, Jonathan O'Connell. Please subscribe, by the way. Bottom right-hand corner, we've got the live counter now in the top corner as well. Let's have a look what else people are saying. Ollie isn't going to win anything, says Messi was always better. We should sign a clinical striker like Haaland, says Hawk. Well, the interesting thing is, when Edison Cavani goes, what do we do about this striking situation? Because there is this story coming out. Paul Robinson says, can you list all the required actions in the transfer window for us? It will be a reality check. That's one of our moderators. I mean, there is a story about Martial I need to discuss there, but just what Paul's saying. So we need a centre-back. We need a centre defensive midfielder. We need a right winger, and we do need a backup right back. They're 4 things we definitely need. If Cavani goes, we need a striker. If Pogba goes, we need a midfielder. If Martial goes, we need another striker. If De Gea or Henderson go, we need to bring in another backup goalkeeper. We need to get rid of Pereira. We need to get rid of Jones. We need to get rid of Mata. We need to get rid of Matic. That's 12 actions. There's probably other things we need to do as well. We ain't getting half of them things done. So don't, expect to be disappointed at the start of the transfer season next year, because we're not going to get all that done, are we? And Desmond, and I think those 12 things need doing just to try and close the gap on Man City, not necessarily close the gap on Man City. Welcome to Nii Desmond, the latest member of the United Stand Members Club. But Jade Bennett says no, Matic should stay. Jade, where have you been? Have you been in a coma for 8 months? They're crap. He's crap. He's absolutely crap. Like, Matic was the CDM when Ollie first came here with Herrera and Pogba, and we were brilliant. Matic was the CDM in the summer last year with Bruno and Pogba, and we were brilliant. He's been shit all season, and he's old. Like, the only excuse for Matic is that he's declining. He's not going through a bit of bad form. He's done this 3 times in his time at United, and he's only been here about 3 or 4 years. He's gone crap. Matic needs to go. He's like, he is our CDM, and he can't do the job anymore. So we're having to. You know how bad Matic is when Fred and McTominay are being picked. Like, Matic is done. He's got to go. I wish he was. I wish he was that player, but he's got to go, unfortunately. And it's that ruthlessness that will define our future, really. But this is from Bleacher Report, Dean Jones. I mean, take it or leave it if you want. But what he's saying is that Manchester United will definitely consider selling Anthony Martial if a good offer comes in. I mean, are we not heading towards this curious situation at United now where we don't really know what we're doing, do we? I mean, what are we doing? Like, what is the plan at Manchester United? If we sell Anthony Martial and we let Edison Cavani go, that's 2 deals you've got to work on. Well, Cavani just goes, to be honest. We're not selling him. He'll just go. Martial, you've got to sell. And then you definitely need to sign a striker. So what we're going to do, let Cavani and Martial go, and spend everything on Erling Haaland. God help us. God help us if that's the plan. Hey, I think Mandzukic will come back to limelight again once Cavani leaves. Similar traits, Sasaki. Oh, God. I didn't want Mandzukic a decade ago. I definitely don't want him now, to be fair. But, I mean, look, I do think Martial... you know what? There's a story here that we're probably ignoring. And it's not in any of the papers. This is an exclusive to the United Stand, and it's something that's just come into my head there. There's a story here that we're missing, right? And that story is this. If Eric Bailly is frustrated and wants to leave, if Cavani is frustrated and wants to leave, and if Martial does knock on Ollie's door and says he wants to leave, then that's not United's choice. That's 3 players saying, and Pogba, I want to leave. That's 4 players. 4 first-team players frustrated and wanting to leave. Now, that's a very big if. But if it's true about Pogba, which we think it is, if it's true about Bailly, which we don't know, if it's true about Cavani, which we think it is, and if Martial decides he wants to go, then that's 4 unhappy players at Manchester United wanting to leave. Why are they unhappy? Well, Pogba's probably unhappy because he's been here 4 years and we're not going to win anything. Bailly's probably unhappy because he's not getting picked ahead of Lindelof. Cavani's probably unhappy because we won't give him a long contract because his injury record, which is fair enough. And Martial's probably unhappy because he's been in and out of the team having been Player of the Year, which is you can understand or you can not understand. But the point remains, if you've got unhappy players, then is this not a reflection of the thing that we've been talking about? The lack of rotation from the manager, the constant use of certain players in the... and also, maybe Donny van der Beek has an odd conversation in the summer and says he wants to go. So as much as Manchester United are doing really well, and we are, and as much as Ollie's Mr. Positive and he's a great man manager, which he is, it's not necessarily the same picture for the whole squad, is it? I'm sure McTominay and Maguire and Fred and Rashford and Bruno and Wan-Bissaka and Luke Shaw, and I'm sure all those lot love Solskjaer. I'm sure they're like, yeah, he's great. He's absolutely great because you're getting picked every week. You never get dropped. You never get taken off. But the other players... maybe this is the downside of not making subs, of not rotating, of not letting better players have a go, of keeping players that are underperforming in the team at the expense of giving the others. And what I'm talking about there is McFred have been crap for a long time. Never seen Van der Beek given a chance recently. Lindelof and Maguire were being outed by ex-United great centre-backs, and yet Bailly comes in, plays well, never gets his chance when Lindelof's fit. So... Maybe some of this disruption is because of Solskjaer and his coaches' lack of rotation and favouritism. Because we could be in a situation where Pogba says, I want to go. Bailly wants to go. Cavani wants to go. Martial wants to go. Van der Beek wants to go. And maybe Twan Sebi wants to go. Because he's like, I ain't getting used at all. I played against bloody Mbappe and Neymar. All right, I'm a young centre-back, but I played against them. I was man of the match. You've hardly played me since. And all right, I had a dodgy game against Istanbul, and you brought me on for 2 minutes, and apparently it was my fault for conceding the free kick. But I'm a young lad. I played against Neymar, and I've been on loan to Villa, and I've always had rave reviews, and yet I can't get in the team here. You never play me. You never even put me at right back. You won't play me there. So this, don't ever say I'm not. I don't look at both sides. Obviously, I want Solskjaer to do well. I back him till May. And I think the summer will be very definitive on whether he's in a job this time next year. But I've always said the lack of rotation, the lack of use of some of our players, and Telles falls into that category as well. I wouldn't be surprised if there's a big queue to knock on Solskjaer's door in the summer and say, that season was a joke. We've been playing 3 games a week. It's the shortest season we've ever had, with the most games in it we've ever had. And you've barely rotated. I've had 3 Premier League starts, 2 Premier League starts. I've hardly played at all. And I'm a new signing. Why am I here? And I think there'll be quite a lot of people who might do that. Do you think we will get Kane or Haaland in the next window? Also, do you think we would be who do you think would be a good CDM for us as Scott Patton? I think that Manchester United, if they sign Harry Kane or Erling Haaland, I think we're screwed. Yeah, because I think that will be all the transfer budget on a player that's not going to make this team any better. Unless we can create chances for them, and we haven't got the players to do it. Imagine if you buy Erling Haaland or Harry Kane, but Pogba walks out the door. Like, what's going to happen then? I mean, look, somebody said, when are you doing the Leicester preview? I don't even know if I'm going to bother, because ultimately I can give you the Leicester preview in about 30 seconds. We'll play a back 6. with pretty much the same team that we played against West Ham and AC Milan. We'll play a back six, we'll get a clean sheet, nick a goal and go through. Happy days. I'll be very happy with that. But there's not much for me to preview, is there? Because I know exactly how we're going to play tomorrow. McFred will play in front of that back four. Bruno will play. Rashford will probably play injured with Greenwood and James. Pogba will come on for 45 minutes. We'll have to be clinical with the chance that we take, and we will deprive them of chances with a back six. I think we'll win 1-0. That's my preview done. And that's not a negative preview. I think we all know what United are going to do. There's not going to be any changes. Van der Beek won't start. Telles won't start. Twansebi won't start. He'll go with the same team. And I think we're all aware of that now. And for me, I think this week's been fantastic. For me, it's about getting second place, winning a trophy, and seeing what's on offer next season. Because I think if we can get out of this season in second place and a trophy, that's progression, definite progression. Give him a new contract, back him in the summer, and let's see what he does with that backing. But if we go into next season with a very similar team and approach to now, I don't think I'll last long supporting this coaching system, because I think we're going into year 3.5, 4. I would expect us to be playing the United way by then. And I believe Solskjaer will do that, by the way. I'm just saying, if this continues next season, I probably would be Ollie out. I feel that there is a very big similar... I feel a bit of deja vu, actually, because I remember when Mourinho was in charge 3 years ago. We were second in the league, and a lot of you were turning against him after we got embarrassed in the Champions League. And I was like, give him the summer. And a lot of people were like, he's shit, get rid of him. I was like, give him the summer. We went into the next season. We had a crap summer. And by the autumn, I think it was the West Ham game, we were playing the same shit football. And I was like, that's it. I've given him long enough, that's it. So it's a warning to Solskjaer, really, because I think there's a lot of United fans who are like me, firmly behind him, get to the summer, back him, let's see what next season holds. But if we get the same football next season as what we've had for this season, I would be like, and the same team selections, I'd be like, there's only so far you can go before you realise that nothing's going to change. Ollie don't even trust himself to play the way he really wants to. No wonder he doesn't trust unproved talent, says Gustav. Well, I think I've always said that about Solskjaer. At some point, he may win a Premier League trophy. At some point, he may get the sack. The sad thing will be is if he does get the sack, if he never plays the way that he was meant to play. Ollie has tactics, but not necessarily good ones. This is why the Ollie outers call him lucky, because we are not creating and winning convincingly, says Julian. Yeah, it's a frustration thing with people who say he's got no tactics. He definitely does have tactics. They're just not pleasing on the eye to many people. How is Ollie good in man management if a lot of the players put a transfer request in? Of course, he can't keep everyone happy, but ratio is 50-50 here, says Aki. And that's what I was trying to say. I think Ollie's loved by that squad, but I think there's certain people in that squad who we can name names who are going to be very frustrated. Mark, can you say a trophy can mask lack of progress? Can't our number 2 position do the same, just like Mourinho's? How much progress is actually made in our playing style and performances, as Christopher? Great question, Christopher, but I don't think second place in a 38-game season masks progress. I think the Premier League and league form is 100% the best evidence of how you're doing as a team. Last year we were the 3rd best team in England. At the moment we're the 2nd best team in England. The issue is, how far behind are we the best team in England? Because that's what Manchester United should always be held account to. It is a bit of a worry that United would see second place as progress. But it is. But it's how far you are off first, like with Mourinho 3 years ago. So there is progress. There's definite progress. And I think the league form is the best way to do it. I really do. Just another story from Sport Witness Vera Italy. Again, they're talking about Nikola Milenkovic from Fiorentina. I don't believe this story. I really do not believe this story. I've said it a few times. I do not believe that we are in for Nikola Milenkovic at all. I think that this is his agent using us. It doesn't make sense. Although it probably will happen now. But it doesn't make sense. He's a very good centre-back, but he doesn't have the attributes of what we pretty much universally agree is needed. We need a quick centre-back. Because, and it's not, I hate it. I hate the pace merchant thing, or you just want quick players. But if you watch Manchester United, we all know our problem is our defensive line goes too deep. We all know our defensive line goes deep, and we all know that McFred sits in front of that defensive line and it's a back six. What we need is a quick centre-back so the defensive line plays higher up and the 2 CDMs becomes 1 CDM and they move higher up themselves and we get closer to the opposition's goal. To do that, you need centre-backs that aren't shit scared of the ball over the top, which Maguire and Lindelof are. So we need a quick centre-back. Milenkovic is not particularly quick. I wouldn't say he's any quicker than Maguire or Lindelof, so it doesn't solve the problem. So it doesn't make any sense why we would do that. There's no doubt somebody's going to get a bargain, and if we didn't have Harry Maguire, I'd say let's go and get that player, but I don't think he fits what we need. If Martial was to go, how much of his transfer fee do you think Ollie would get for his centre-back and CDM, says Joe Langan? I think that I don't know what's going to happen this summer. I think that's the big problem, isn't it? We don't know what's going to happen this summer. But I think if Martial go, I said something and I got ridiculed for it. Surprise, surprise, on social media, Twitter, a few weeks ago, and I said Pogba for Ronaldo, Rice and 40 million for Lingard. Well, the other way round. So and Martial for Koundé. And I said you've barely spent any money there. And you've got a centre-back, a CDM and a striker. And you've spent 40 million. Because 40 million in Lingard for Rice, Koundé for Sevilla, for Martial, and Pogba for Ronaldo. So, would you rather have Martial or Ronaldo? Well, you've got a centre-back in Koundé, and you've got Ronaldo, and Pogba wants to go. So, I do think that swap deals are the way to go for United because we do have assets. I mean, there's a story again today about Van der Beek in Italy, and I think AC Milan entering the race with Inter Milan now. I think there's going to be trouble ahead. You know what? This is probably the harshest thing I'll ever say about Ole Gunnar Solskjaer because I back Solskjaer and I want him to. I've backed him till May, and it's not particularly harsh, really. It's just an observation. I personally think that Solskjaer is managing Manchester United with his coaches like the guy or girl who plays Football Manager or FIFA and never changes their team because they know their dinner's going to be ready soon and they're trying to get us through many games as they can. They can't be bothered to waste minutes changing the team, rotating the team, looking at form and fitness. They're just like, no, come on, my tea's ready in half an hour. I want to get another game in. Same 11, let's go again. If I can just get to my tea time, get these games in, and I'll be happy, right? And I think that I'm worried that we are heading straight towards a crash. We're going to hit a brick wall. Maybe not in relation to results, but what will happen is he's going to get over the line with probably a core of 13, 14 players. And when he gets to the summer, there's going to be a list of six. There's going to be a line of 6 players waiting to knock on his door. So whilst Ollie's there with his Europa League in second place and a smile on his face, he's got Van der Beek, he's got Bailly, he's got Cavani, he's got Martial, he's maybe got a goalkeeper, he's got Telles and maybe Pogba. 7 players, all of them pretty much first team players, queuing up to say, I'm glad you enjoyed the Europa League in second place because I wasn't part of it, and I'm clearly not part of your plans, so I want to go. And that's the problem about the lack of rotation, is that if we win, it's great, but we could lose a lot of our squad next season because they're like, well, you didn't use me. I don't feel part of this. If United win the Europa League and they come second place, do you think Telles feels part of it? Do you think Twansebi feels part of it? Do you think Eric Bailly feels part of it? Do you think Van der Beek feels part of it? I don't think they do. And I think they should have been part of it this season, but I don't think they would feel any part of it at all because they've hardly played at all. So that's my concern, is how well is it being managed behind the scenes? Because I think that we could succeed this season, but it'll be off of an overuse of certain players and an underuse of others. And that could lead to problems in the summer. Especially, look, I go into this summer transfer window, I want us to buy a centre-back, a CDM and a right winger. And I don't really want anyone to leave other than people like Mata and Matic and Jones and Pereira. And Lingard. I don't want anyone else to go. But imagine if we go into the summer and we need a centre-back, a CDM, a right winger, but then Van der Beek wants to go, Telles wants to go, Twansebi wants to go, Bailly wants to go, Cavani goes, Martial goes. You're like, shit, all right, I've just lost 6 players I didn't even really want to go. And we haven't got the players we wanted before. So that's the that's the concern for me in that sense, I suppose. But we will see. it is a problem. You know, it is a problem. I think it is definitely a problem that these players will want to play football. I mean, Alex Telles is a Brazilian international. Twan Sebi is at the start of his career. Donny van der Beek is 23 and was in the Dutch national team playing for Ajax in the Champions League. So Anthony Martial was Player of the Year last year, playing as our number 9. What is he now? So I think that we may underestimate what some of these players may be angling to do. And also, everyone's got an agent. So, yeah. Martial for Ronaldo, no, because Ronaldo is 36, has football skills by Gaucho. I'd take Ronaldo. I'd take Ronaldo. In a heartbeat, I would take Ronaldo. It's not just the fact that he's 36 that bothers me. I think realistically, if Ronaldo's 36, probably equals everybody else's 31. But it's his leadership. United need leadership, and it's his quality. And I wouldn't expect Ronaldo to be running past 3 or 4 players from the wing. I'd just stick him up front. He's brilliant in the air. His hold-up play is brilliant. He's got a great shot on him. And I'd take Ronaldo. Yeah, definitely would. But I don't think we will get Ronaldo. Let's not forget what James Cooper said. Let's not forget what all of you know. We're about the money. Yeah. So we ain't gonna be spending a lot of money this summer, which is why I think swap deals are really important. United make the mistake of letting Pogba leave for free when he was a young prospect. Did that again with Gomez last season. They just don't learn, says Dowell. And I think that's the thing. We don't learn. And I'm hoping we are going to learn in the summer transfer window. But it'll be hard. And Paul Robinson's right. The moderator's right. Please smash a like on the video, by the way. Paul Robinson, the moderator, is right. When you actually sit down with... And I would implore you all to do this. You care about Manchester United. You're passionate fans. I see you in the comments every day. I see the comments below the video for those who aren't watching live. And I do read them because, you know what? There's some good opinions in there. If you've got the time, grab a pen, grab a piece of paper and write down a list of everything that United need to do this summer. And from centre-back to CDM, to right-back, back-up, to selling Jones, to selling Pereira, to selling Mata, for what we're going to do with Cavani, what are we going to replace him, for Martial, the goalkeeping situation, you will get into double figures very, very quickly. Well, we all know Manchester United can't do double figures, whether it's including ins and outs. Ollie wanted 5 subs in the Premier League as well, says Dazzo. Yeah, there's a bit of contradiction there. If Ollie goes, who's the best choice as manager to get us back to the old way of playing? This may come as a surprise, but I think Scholes would be perfect, even with his lack of experience, as Scott Patton. Well, I don't like to talk about replacements for Solskjaer because everybody knows I back Solskjaer. But what I will say is that there is no way I would want any ex-player as United manager next. I don't care. I don't want Steve Bruce, I don't want Ryan Giggs, I don't want Paul Scholes, I don't want Gary Neville, I do not want any ex-player again. I think we've tried it and it's Solskjaer or broke for me. I'm not saying never again, but the next manager, if Solskjaer doesn't succeed, I wouldn't want an ex-player for me. But I'm with Solskjaer at the moment. I don't want Rooney either. I don't. Look at what happened with Lampard, did very well at Derby, went to Chelsea and wasn't quite ready for it, so I wouldn't want Rooney either. Thanks everyone for watching, by the way. Please do subscribe, bottom right hand corner, and remember we've got our new United Stand mug range out. It hasn't got my face on it, it hasn't got Ricky's, it actually is for our 1 million subscribers. I'll have mine next week, so I'll be able to show you it, but links in the video description. We've got a range of mugs to have your cup of tea or whatever it is you put in your cup out now through the United Stand. We've got 1 million subscribers, special edition mugs as well. Links in the video description for those. I'll be back on the 8 o'clock show, of course. And if you want to watch That's Football this evening, I'm doing a watch along at 5:30 for Man City against Everton in the Cup. Please, Everton. I just want Man City out of all the cups that could, treble. That's all I'm thinking about there. Speak to you all in a bit. Thanks for watching.